My name's Kat, this is the Dividend Diary, and here's how much I made through dividends on my Trading 212 Stocks and Shares ISA in June. If you've watched my previous dividend videos, I hope you've enjoyed them. I'm excited to share my progress here because I love financial transparency videos, and I'm very nosy. I hope you are as well, and that you will like, subscribe, and enjoy this video. At this point, the value of my Trading 212 Stocks and Shares ISA was £4,087.94. Though not all of this was added to the dividend-paying stocks, and some was sitting in cash. On the 2nd of June, I received my first dividend from Target for 11 pence, and I had 0.15 of a share. AFL paid me 1 pence, and I had 0.02 of a share. BAE Systems paid out 7 pence, and I had 0.35 of a share. When investing overseas, you may be subject to withholding tax. As I'm based in the UK and we have a tax treaty with the US and Canada, my withholding rate for American and Canadian dividend payouts is currently 15%, though this can vary quite a lot across different countries. So it's best to do your own research. On the 4th of June, Glencore paid me 7 pence, and I had 1.96 shares. On the 5th, I had a payment of £1.38 from Legal & General, and at this point I had 8.98 shares. On the 6th, AG Bar paid out 2 pence, and I had 0.15 of a share. On the 10th, I had 2 dividends. The first was from AGNC Investment at 2 pence, and I owned 0.29 of a share. The second was from Johnson & Johnson, which paid me 10 pence, and I had 0.12 of a share. The 12th of June saw 2 more payouts, the first from Sanofi at 4 pence, where I had 2.19 shares, and the second was from Microsoft, who paid me 1 pence with 0.01 of a share. On the 13th of June, I had dividends from Agree Realty for 1 pence, and I had 0.03 of a share. Main Street Capital for 1 pence, and I had 0.04 of a share. Universal Music Group paid 21 pence with 1.02 shares. Pfizer paid 3 pence, and I had 0.09 of a share. Goldman Sachs paid 29 pence with 9.1 shares. Unilever paid 55 pence with 1.42 shares. Realty Income paid 19 pence, and I had 1.12 shares. On the 16th of June, I was paid 1 pence from Stag Industrial, and I had 0.07 of a share. McDonald's paid out 1 pence, and I had 0.008 of a share. Rolls-Royce paid out 32 pence, and I had 5.27 shares. On the 18th of June, Home Depot paid me 11 pence, and I had 0.07 of a share. Yum China paid me 20 pence, and I had 1.31 shares. On the 20th of June, Waste Management paid 6 pence for 0.11 of a share. HSBC paid me 3 pence for 0.45 of a share. On the 23rd, BlackRock paid 1 pence for 0.002 of a share. I then had 2 dividends from Shell, and the first was 32 pence for 1.19 shares, and the second was 21 pence for 0.81 shares. On the 24th, Coca-Cola paid 19 pence for 0.21 of a share. United Health paid me £2.87, and I had 2.07 shares in this. On the 25th of June, I had 7 dividends from iShares at 7 pence, 4 pence, 8 pence, 7 pence, 1 pence, 2 pence, 2 pence, and these totaled 31 pence. On the 27th of June, I had a dividend from BP for 75 pence, and I owned 12.64 shares. Gilead Sciences paid out 3 pence, and I had 0.06 of a share. The Sage Group paid out 5 pence, and I had 0.63 of a share. Main Street Capital paid out 1 pence, and I had 0.04 of a share. Tesco paid out £2.55, and I had 26.93 shares. T. Rowe Price paid out 2 pence, and I had 0.02 of a share. My final dividends for the month arrived on the 30th of June. The first was from Renewable Infrastructure Group, who paid 91 pence, and I had 48.26 shares. Pepsi paid out £1.04 for 1.18 shares. Pembina Pipeline paid 5 pence for 0.14 of a share. Gladstone Commercial paid 1 pence for 0.18 of a share. And lastly, LTC Properties paid 1 pence for 0.07 of a share. So my total dividends for June were £13.20, which is double what I received in May. At this point, it felt a little addictive to be investing, and by the end of the month, I had moved over £4,000 from my cash ISA to my stocks and shares ISA, which I plan to use to add slowly to my current positions.